Hey guys, so coming on, we are going to do some UV resin on these cute earrings and just make some fun spring earrings. That's kind of my goal with these, shall we say. Okay, so I should have got myself seated in here, but of course I didn't. See, let me shimmy around. Might bounce for just a second, but we're good. We're getting in here. We're set. Alright, so I bought these off of Amazon. You know, I'll link it. They're just a bunch of different, like, wood shapes. I'm going to go the smaller ones just because I'm making earrings. So I just want some of the smaller sizes. Try to get twinsies. Let's do those 3. I don't think they're small diamond. I think the diamonds are all, they're pretty big. Those would be like a necklace pendant type size. So, first thing I am going to do, because they are wood and I don't want that to be the color of the background of them, I'm going to go ahead and get a color on them. I'm going to do different ones, different colors. So I'm just using like a water-based marker. Okay. So purple's my favorite color. So, you know, since I'm the artist, I am going to choose to do these ones in purple. Let's see how this works. I'm going to end up getting marker on me. And I don't care. It's just going to be... I'm trying to go with the wood grain. These are a brush tip water-based marker. Amazon. So I'll link those. They have 2 tips. Colors aren't always exactly like the colors that you would expect maybe. That's pretty accurate though. And like I said, I'm just going with the wood grain so that it doesn't mess up my brush. And just gonna get a color on it. I'll probably do the back side too. So I'll need to keep this marker handy so that I know that this is the one that needs to go on the back of these. Basically just trying to get it all through there. And you'll notice the wood absorbs some of the paint sometimes, so you might have to just touch up a couple of the spots just to get those the color that you want based on the wood absorbing. Okay, so those are those. Let's do, I really like this one in this pink. This type has a fine tip and this has a brush tip, and these are acrylic as well. These are acrylic marker. These just say they're water based, so maybe they're not acrylic, but maybe acrylic is water based. I don't really know. I just, you know. And I've linked these ones before, but I'll link them again. They have a fine tip and a brush tip. And I used to really only like fine tip. I am learning that I love the brush tip. Used to not. But the more that I've done work with them, I'm like, oh, I really like these brush tip ones. I'm like, they'd be pretty cool. Pretty amazing. So that one is really absorbing. I love the colors. Whew. Who is ready for spring? By golly, I am so ready for spring. Like, can we be there already? Please. It has been a long winter, I feel. I'm ready for warm weather. We have had warm weather the last couple of days. Today was a weather watch day. We had potential tornadoes. It's mainly just high wind. Mainly just straight high winds. But there was potential for some spin ups. So luckily, nothing too bad. But we were under a tornado watch all day. So that's always fun. But tonight, I mean, I had to go out for an appointment this evening and came back and it's already cooled off so much. I'm like, jeez, can we not get that cold again, please? Please. Just want it to be springtime. We're supposed to drop down like upper 30s. I'm like, jeez. Ridiculous. I'm supposed to have my daughter's birthday party this weekend at a park. Luckily we rented one of the little buildings there, and so if the weather is crappy, we'll be inside doing crafts. But I'm just like, oh, okay. Wanted the kiddos to run themselves out on the playground. I gotta figure out cupcakes for that. We're doing a lemon theme party, which is fun. Okay. So, did 3 completely different colors, which that's fun because it just gives us that variety, you know? Gives us some variety to play with. And I'm keeping them, like my markers that I used, out so that I know which ones and we'll add to as we need. I have some little bedazzling flowers. I've got little clay flowers, little clay butterflies. These are some more really pretty butterflies and dragonflies. I have, they're not stickers, but you cut them out and they're real thin and then you can place them on. So I have all kinds of things that we're going to kind of be using. On this one, I love like this flower and this flower, and I think those might look really good on here. So these little guys are from Hobby Lobby. They you get a couple sheets of them, which is cool. These particular ones, I guess they're switching over their season. Probably a new round coming through, so they had these marked down for 87 cents. And it has 2 sheets of each design, and there was 3 designs. That's a pretty good deal, in my opinion. So definitely check them out. Their jewelry shop always has stuff on clearance. I mean, I don't think I've ever been when there has not been clearance for them. So that's fun. Okay. So, and what I like about these two is so it is, you know, got that clear so we can really see how they're going to look on there. And I think I like that particular one. And I think I might do that one there. And then the white one, like, if I can kind of mock it here. And then of course we're going to add other stuff. Or I make this the center, and that is the center. Attention, I don't know, I kind of want to mix it. Okay, so we're going to use both of those. Okay. Yep. Both of them. So I am going to put on some finger cots. And the reason for that is I just have a feeling that I'm going to end up touching these small pieces and end up with resin on my fingers. So I'm just going to do a couple of I'm going to do all 5 of my fingers on each hand, because I don't think I need it that bad. But definitely going to hit the ones that I think need. I get plenty of these through various packs, okay, that I've gathered through the years, and I hardly ever use them. They're pretty uncomfortable on the thumbs and fingers even. They cut the circulation. They're pretty tight. So I don't usually use them. However, given what we're doing, I am going to use them. The other thing, I'm not going to worry about our bottom part of our light because we're not worried about the bottom. These are wood pieces. We're only going to need the top. So get that plugged in so we have it ready. The other thing we can use is use our little light to help with them too. So this may make this part a little bit difficult, but that's okay. We're gonna make it work. Make it work, make it work. Ooh. I'm gonna try to take off as much of this film or clear film plasticky stuff as I can without cutting in to the design. And basically I'm gonna mock try it just so that I have an idea of what it's gonna look like. Sure am. I kind of like it. I think I'll use the white ones over here. Yeah. I kind of more like just that one being sort of center. We're going to add some embellishments to it. Pretty certain the plastic's going to just fade into the background, but we'll see. We're hoping it's just going to get lost in the resin. Okay. So let's design. Oh, my voice just like kind of cracked there. Ooh, let's design these ones. Let's get these ones going. All right, let's get some UV. Let's resin UV resin. Yep, not gonna take the entire lid or entire top off. We're gonna just take the lid off, y'all. And I'm just gonna put a very small amount of resin, kind of where we're gonna lay this flower at. And I'm going to allow myself to like spread that. This is why I'm wearing finger cots, because I'm pushing that down and allowing that resin to really go all under it. I want the resin to be under all parts of the plastic so that it really does absorb into it and blends in. We're going to do several layers here, so it's not like that's going to be the only layer on here, because we'll do a ceiling layer on top, but definitely want to get it coated as much as possible so it can just blend in. So just kind of looking, you know, spreading this all around. I'll turn it to where none of the edges are hanging off of our wood piece type thing. See? So with that, we're going to just hit that. It's not going to need much. So it's kind of sticking up a little bit, so I just wanted to press it down a little bit more. It's not going to need much on there for that to go through. So just give it just a smidge, and then we'll keep rolling and building our layers, because that was a very thin layer, so it shouldn't need much of, you know, a part. Let's see. I got some cute little, I got these. These were on Amazon haul. I was like, oh, I liked them. And I got some cute, you know, this is the one I'm looking for. Look at those, they're just fun. Silicone brushes. Okay. That should be good. Yeah, it's still tacky. I'm not really worried about that though. I touched it with my bare finger. Yeah. But they're stuck on there, so we're good. Okay, so this is going to help pick up things that I'm going to be adding. And we'll probably get a pair of little tweezers. I've got a pair right here that we can use to help kind of add and so forth. Let's also grab, if I can find one that's not being used, one of my little silicone cups, because those are going to come in handy. I just need one. Where? Down here. I've got a couple dirty ones up here, but I want a clean one. I got it. Maybe. Okay, got it. One of these guys. Because I'm just going to put a very small amount of UV resin in, and that's going to help me. And I'm going to probably design these ones, and then we'll design those. So, like, we are going to get to them. I'm just trying to not overwhelm thyself. Basically. I'm trying not to overwhelm myself with it. Okay, let's see what I want on here. You, I don't want to lose you. Ew, I want this, like, teal butterfly. I want two of them. One and two. Yep. Okay. I think I'm going to want another flower on here. Let's go with purple. Actually, I think I might go with a pink and a purple. Okay. Part of the designing fun here. See that nosy neighbor. I have my blinds open. Probably bad of me to do that, but oh, it's fine. Okay, let's see. So, these ones you don't get full to exact same. It like cut it off. So, I'm going to have to choose wisely with that. Okay, I'm going to do this pink one and this purple one. Yep. Yep. So, just very carefully trying to get in here to cut this. I put them super close together. So what I'm thinking that I want to do, let me trim this a little bit. I'm going to find slivers of plastic everywhere. Like, that's a little piece of plastic. That was a little piece of plastic. So what I'm thinking is that one is going to go down. Maybe I want to do a white. I feel like that just gets lost. You know, the pink does. You know where this might look really cute is on here. Yeah, I like it on that. Okay, so it was good to cut it out because we're going to use it. Just not on the piece that I thought I was going to use it on. Oh, you know what I want to do? I know what I want to do. We're going to use this very pretty, like, Queen Anne's lace white one. That's what we're going to use. We're going to put it in the center. Well, kind of left center. And then we're going to put our purple one that I chose more to the right. And I think that will be good. It's so funny, like, I don't know if y'all do this. I don't know if this is a crafter thing or somewhat of an ADHD thing or a combination thereof. But in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to do this tutorial. It will probably take me about 30 to 45 minutes. I'm going to get 3 designs fully done. We will have it all completed and it will be beautiful, and we'll even have them made. Nope, nope, nope. Not going to happen. I think we can cut this in half and use it on both. I mean, we're going to get them done. I'm not saying that. Not that that's going to happen, but what I'm saying is, like, you know, in my mind, oh yeah, in like 30 minutes I can have 3 sets done. We'll even have them made, and this will be a 1-part tutorial. And then I sit down and I'm like, it's going to take a little more than probably 1 episode to put them all together and design them and everything. But that's fine. It's just one of those things that in my mind, I'm like, oh, that shouldn't take that long, should it? Yeah, probably should. It's fine. I was thinking about mirroring them a little bit, but then I opted to not. So that was my hesitancy. Figure out which way this one goes. Top? Yeah, that's the top. Okay. It's like, which way? Which way goes? The white isn't popping as much as I thought. It kind of gets lost with the resin. But I still love them. Okay. And I'll trim off. Like, there's a little bit of plastic hanging over, but I'll trim that off in a mental. Well, probably in the cleanup part. Okay. One thing you gotta be careful, if you're working with your UV resin and also holding this, you might, with your finger caught, still get some UV resin everywhere. So you might want to keep a paper towel or something to be wiping your cots off on, so that you're not getting resin everywhere, because I think I just got resin all over that sheet. Just saying. I'm going to use that just to pick it up. See, this is what I'm saying. I like that. That looks cool to me. Then I'm going to just coat this little guy in some resin before I place him down here. Yep. I likey. And then, of course, we're going to keep, you know, maneuvering and stuff here. So just be patient. Okay, let's cut this. And if I'm not always in screen, I do apologize. I try to be, I promise. But sometimes you just need something a little closer to your eyes. And I might come off a screen for the cutting. But I promise I'm just cutting and off the screen doing that. Okay. Let's put a little bit of this down. Put this over top. Oh, I don't think that's the same flower. Nope. Sure not me. Sure not me. I cut the wrong stinking flower out. It's cute, but it is not the one we want right here. Let's see about these. What? Oh yeah, I was doing that one. Oh, this one's full on flipped over. Okay. Yep. Oh, I do like this. Come on. I just want it to be a little bit more on. Okay. Let's see. It's all gonna work out. It's all gonna work out. They might overlap a little bit, but that's okay. Got stuck to my finger cut. This one. Actually, what I kind of want to do is get up under it and lay it more. Yeah, kind of like that. Okay. You know what? I'm just going to fix it the way I want it. It's kind of one of those things, and sometimes you have to just maneuver and play with it a little bit until you get it the way you want it to be. And I think that's cute. Once we add a couple little embellishments, that will be sweet. Okay, now let's get the right one for this. Let's see here. I saw it and then I lost it. All right. I might as well cut this in a way that I just snag both of these. Just thinking that would make the mostest of sense. Yep. The mostest. The hostess with the mostest. What is that from? Don't even know. Somebody's screaming it at me. It's from something. What exactly? It's not coming to mind for me, but that's okay. Alright. So much for just designing one, right? So much. And I don't know what we got on this one. That is sticking. There we go. Whatever that pink thing is that I am like bringing along. Okay. Ah, get off my other one. And I got resin all over it. I was gonna trim this a little bit more, but we're gonna just have to kind of roll with it because I got resin on it and it's not gonna let me trim it now. Okay, let's go ahead and get our little butterfly on here. I know the last one I coated it full on, and I'm going to do an entire top coat, so I'm not worried about that per se. Just trying to get that first little bit. Let's get this other one here so that we can just keep these rolling. Since we kind of have that. Ah, I'm stuck. My finger cuts are sticking to things. My goodness. Okay. Good thing is that we'd already got that one designed a little bit, so I know which way to lay this now to try to get it where I want it. Okay. I think that works. All right. Okay. Let me fling them at myself. All right. Before we go any further, let's put that on. Now, I do have that cup. I put it off to the side so that the light doesn't go on it, just because I want to make sure, you know, we're not mixing or letting that light bleed over and cure up in our little cup that we have. I'm just putting a little bit of, it's a resin remover. It's really meant to, it's almost like hand sanitizer. It's in a little squirty thing. It's meant to be able to like take it off of your fingers and stuff, but I'm using it to take it off my finger cups and then wipe on the paper towel so that we can start afresh. You know, this next round will be not so sticky. Hopefully not so sticky. There's some really cute ones in this for 87 cents. I mean, some super cute. A lot of cute ones. I'm gonna empty my garbage too. Whew. That's one of those things that I'm like, do not like to do, but it needs done. Okay. These are cute. They need a little bit more. Smidge more, but that's okay. We're working it. Okay, on these, I want to have a dragonfly kind of coming down. And I really, in my head, am thinking that these are not turning, and I may have to bust this bad boy open. I've had to do that sometimes. You're supposed to be able to just, you know, beautifully turn it between, but sometimes they get stuck and then they don't turn the way they're supposed to. And this one might be that way. Oh, we're getting it. Okay. Do I want, yeah, I want the black with the pink. Okay. Let's use this to pick out our two. Oh, they're so tiny. So it's about so tiny. So tiny, tiny. All right. And like flip it over. I want it to be kind of, it's heading in for a landing this way type thing. So it's kind of a weird potential way, but we're doing it. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, I kind of wonder, I feel like I need one more little embellishment, but I'm not positive what I want or which one I want, because I don't want to take away from what I have. I want to add to what I have. I lost where the opening was. I was like, where's my opening? It's like one of those things where, like, I can't find it. Let's do each of those. And I'm going to put them right here. Yeah, I think that's cute. It's not overly distracting from the others, but it's also giving us our, you know, thirds playing. That one's super thin. Kind of like that because it blends a little bit more than that one, but that's okay. Okay, so then on these, just one, I think I just want like one flying. And I think I want to be a little bit bold and go, the blue one look really good. Oh, I see what I want. I want the dragonfly over here that's like blue and pink. This one's trying to escape. I got two. Yeah, I think that's sweet. It's like not overly powering, but just gives a little color. There. Okay, so let's do a little sealing of that. Just just like 60 seconds. And then those, I think we're ready to just coat them full on with a doming layer, which is awesome. We like when we're at that point. And I think what I'll do is I'll put that on a tray. I'm going to put them on this piece of plastic. I'll dome it on there, and then I'll move that to the side so that we can design our third one. The little blue dragonflies and butterflies are popping under there because the light looks like they're glowing. Like full on glow. That's fun. I like this. I think I'm going to use some of these on the other one. I was thinking about it on these, and then they didn't quite need that per se. I'm going more simple. Simple. My cord is getting in the way. I'm like, ah! Okay. So we're going to dome these. Now we could put this on, actually, that's what we're going to do. Let's not cut corners. We're going to put it on some resin tape. That way they're just stuck to it. And I don't have to worry about them moving on us, essentially. Because I'm afraid on that piece of plastic they're just going to move around. And that's going to be an issue. But I wanted to protect also my tray, because I don't want, if resin were to drip off, it's not on my tray. So we'll just do this. Like, let's just make it simple. And these are my little plastic popsicle sticks. I use them for stirring regular resin mixing, but they work good for holding down your tape, as you saw how I did that. I really like to do it that way. And actually, I'm going to do a little spot check of myself. Make sure we are still recording, because, you know, I've had issues before with that. So, okay. So I'm going to put a pretty decent size, like, glob in the center. We're going to move that around. I do see there's a big bubble. And that's okay. And if we accidentally fill in our hole up here, I'm not worried. We're gonna get it. We can drill it out. I used to be really worried about that. You don't have to. If you use a ladder, be careful. Don't light your resin on fire. You know, those types of things. But that lighter popped our big bubbles, so. And essentially what I'm trying to do is just move this resin fully to the edge without it hopefully running off. Again though, if it runs off, we can just use a little Dremel tool on the cleanup side, and that will be just fine. I see a couple more bubbles in this doming process, and that's okay. I think we might have went over right here. Oh, that was already had an overage. Okay. Yeah, that's the plastic. We're going to have to Dremel that, sand that off anyway. These are beautiful. I really like that doming process, just gives it that finish touch that they need. And yes, we've got plastic here, but again, we're not going to stress because we'll just Dremel that off. And we're not going to stress about our holes because we'll just run a drill bit through those and it will be just fine. All right. I'm making sure I get all around the 3D pieces. And then I am doing a small coat up around the hole, I'm not doing it as thick as the rest of the piece, but I do want that wood to be fully sealed up there, to seal in our paint and everything. So again, not doing it as thick by any means as the rest of the piece, but just enough. And I'm just gently with the lighter going over. It just helps pop any of those straggling bubbles that decide to be persnickety. Now, should I have put my tray probably under this so that the transfer didn't have to shift? Probably, but hey, we're good. It's all good in the hood. And I'm just putting this over here so that I can put it on a couple minutes, basically. And then that allows us the freedom to start working with this piece. See the plan. May not always come with one, but that's part of the crafting process. I had to really, I wouldn't say like motivate myself, but I was like, do I really want to craft tonight? It's been a long couple of weeks here in my household and just a bunch going on, and I was just like, man, do I want to? I was like, I kind of had to have that pep talk with myself of like, girl, you so need that. And you'll feel better if you go be creative. And then I was like, I really just kind of want to listen to an audiobook or music. And I was like, no, you're going to put some footage out. So I hope y'all enjoy the footage. I do enjoy doing this, but there are some days that I'm like, you know, when I would craft, I would just put on music and jam out. But when I'm doing a tutorial, I don't want to be jamming to music. Plus, you know, there's all those music rights and crap that you gotta be careful of. So I don't want to have to worry about that. I don't got time for that. This woman's already crazy busy. Crazy busy. So I designed my daughter's birthday invitation, which that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that, and it's gonna be a good time, but you know, still a little stressful. Gotta get cake figured out. I think I'm gonna do cupcakes because that's always the easiest, but I kind of want to do lemon, and I always like doing the mini cupcakes, but if I'm baking them, it's going to have to be regular size, and I don't know. My brain is like, I don't know what you want. What you want, what you really, really want. Yeah, that's not going to work. I thought, well, maybe there's enough resin on it that it will just pick it up, but nope. It will not. That's not 100% where that's going to be, but it's getting it on there briefly. I'm going to do a few of these different colors of these ones. Let's do some pale yellow. Oh, they're flinging everywhere, y'all. Flinging everywhere. These are meant for like nail art. But you know what I'm using them for is earring art. You know? Oh, those are cute. Oh, it's all in there. Looks all gross and dirty. That's really cute though. I do like that. I feel like we need a little bit more just to proportionally do this. And I mean, we're going to full on seal, of course, when we do the top coat. So I'm not overly worried, but you know, there is a little bit of extra resin from the clear flower, the white flower that we put in. So I'm just using that to help put these in position and such. I don't want it to be full on, you know, perfect positioning per se. I just want to, I want it to be fully symmetrical, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Oh, come. Okay, yeah, you're gonna need a little more encouraging. Let's put a little bit more. No, it's like, no, you have too much encouragement to have me on here. That's what I wanted. I'm just trying to, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical, but also give it a little bit. I see what I want. Sometimes it just takes me humming it out and I'll find it. Oh, we're going too far. This is the one, the lucky, lucky one. Okay. That way we have 3 of the 3D flowers and 3 clay embellishments is what I decided on. The butterfly is giving us our 3rd kind of clay embellishment to go with it. So it's kind of giving us that balanced look with the chaos per se. All right. Let's try to get these back in here. And these just need a quick seal. So I'm going to just throw them under the light over here. The others had been in there for a couple minutes. I'm just going to let them sit under there for that 60 seconds that those are going to go. And then I'll pull all those out. Biggest thing with these, you want to close them. You got to get them back to that white part so that they're closed. I know these don't go in this one, and that somewhat stresses me out, my OCD-ness with it, but I'm going to just let it be. They're already mixing from everything else. Just not let that stress us. All these little plastic pieces, I'm just going to have to probably like vacuum them up. And then these get to keep, like we barely used any, so that's exciting. Trying to see, some of those were kind of sticking. I was a little worried I got resin on them. Which I might have. There's a cute moon and stars too. Oh, my fingers, I can feel the circulation being cut off. Good thing we're coming to an end. We come on to an end because we're gonna let these fully set up before we would do the cleanup on them. And fully set up meaning, yes, they're cured. Yes, they're solid. However, they're probably still just a smidge tacky. And so leaving them at a minimum overnight is going to help. I'm glad I didn't paint the backs yet, because when we put on this tape, it probably would have caused that. Okay, for a second I thought that was really sticky. Here's just my finger caught was sticking to the tape. That would have totally pulled our paint from the back side off. These remind me of little girls a little bit more. These seem more childish than those do, but I still think they're really cute. Oh, we're missing an embellishment. Let's get you back on here. I was like, something's not right. Let's get you back in here. Okay, so this is where we're gonna just use our little light for just a couple moments, just to give that a seal. My cup really doesn't have much left in it, so I'll probably just throw it under the light too and let that cure up, and then we can peel it out. Okay, we'll just stick it over here for now. Let's give a big warm welcome to the UV resin blob. Can you tell? Got a little cuckoo over here. That's another reason why we can't finish these fully off tonight. I would be cuckoo. I would hit that point. And I'm probably pretty close to that point, you know? So we just kind of do little by little. And it works out. It gets 2 tutorials I feel like are pretty good. You know, 3 pairs of earrings, 2 tutorials. That seems pretty reasonable. We're doing these types. It always, and that's one thing, I don't think I've said it in a long time, but when I started my tutorials, the big thing that I wanted was to give you guys an accurate timeline. You see all these reels, they're cut down super short amount of time, everything, and it's like, oh, I can do that in 5 seconds. Sure thing. I'm going to whip up some earrings in a couple minutes and be done, and they're going to be so perfect and blah, blah, blah. Well, that's all curated. And that's not reality. So, for me, I wanted to give more of a realistic resin view of how long it actually is going to take for you to create the piece that maybe you're trying to create, just because that allows you to actually see the reality of the timeline. You know, I think some people think, oh, you do resin, that doesn't take long. See those videos, they go by so quick. Well, yeah, they're sped up by a lot. I was talking to somebody and they're like, oh, I watched your tutorial and my goodness, there's a lot more that goes into it. And I was like, yeah, there's a lot of steps. You gotta let it set and cure and like do all these things and so forth. So it's not as simple as just, you know, sitting down and whipping up a pair of earrings in 5 minutes. Oh, my poor finger. I told y'all they were cutting my circulation off. Okay, so let these go for 2 minutes and then we'll pull those out. These look super cute. There's some, like a string of bubbles there. But it looks really cute actually. It's fine. And these ones. I was like, what's on my finger? Oh, it's just the yellow. Yeah, these turned out cute too. Yeah, they're gonna need a little trimming of this. I can probably, honestly, just do a little trim here, but then with the Dremel, we'll just clean that right on up. This has resin. Yeah. That's gonna need a little Dremel work, but that's pretty close. Sometimes when the resin's still, I want to say fresh because it technically is cured, but it's not as hard as it's going to get. So when it's still somewhat pliable, you can cut it with a pair of scissors pretty easily and get a piece cleaned up pretty easily that way. Not always, but sometimes. And so it's a good time to do that if you can. It'll just make the next stage a smidge easier for us to not have that plastic trying to come off. The other thing I have a little bit of a concern with is if you catch that plastic, would it try to separate from the wood? I don't think so, but I mean it could, I guess. These are really cute. They're super cute. They have a real 3D look because we use the clay and the like clear plastic pieces. So it really gives them that 3-dimensional look, which is pretty cool. And I'm glad I painted the backs of them because I almost was like, oh, we'll fill them. Could you imagine sitting there layering? I'm not very good at that either. Like visually knowing what I want on top, I feel like. Oh, these are cute. I love the little purple. Yeah, they feel really good. These ones with the 3D flowers, it was harder to dome them. They could have another layer, but I really don't think they need it. They look really good. And then I just want to show y'all. Here's the cup of our resin. That's just because it's cured. It just pops right on out. You can take a little paper towel, wipe that the rest of the way, but that's pretty much clean. So yeah. So hope y'all enjoyed that little tutorial. I'm gonna bring these just a smidge closer. Look how cute they are. They're so fun. All right. Next week, we'll come back, clean them fully up, create them into earrings, turn them into full-on earrings. Yeah, see you again next week, y'all. Bye.